Hi there! Yeah, you guessed it, that's right, it's Nick Dutch back on the camera again for another delightful tarot reading. Today we've got someone whose YouTube username is Bouncy People. And Bouncy People wants to know how her relationship with her boyfriend is going to go. And basically, how things are going with the connection in general. So we'll just have a quick look and see what's happening here. Still using the Book of Thoth Tarot, I'm afraid. I just feel more comfortable with it, basically. I'm much more used to the symbolism because I do use it every single day for my standard readings over the telephone and over the internet. Let's see how we go from here. I did have one person inquiring about why I wear this hat when I'm doing my readings. Well, the truth of the matter is, this hat is of Middle Eastern origin, and some people say that the origin of the tarot is in fact Mesopotamia. So I thought there'd be a bit of a connection there, and I thought it would go rather well with my imagery if I was to wear something Middle Eastern whilst I'm using something which came from Middle Eastern origins. Anyway, let's get straight on with the reading and see what we can find out. Just bear with me a second, please. Okay, quite an interesting one. Let's just have a quick look at the cards and see what kind of messages we've got here, alright? Bear with me a second. Alright, well here goes. I've shuffled the cards very well, very thoroughly, just to make sure we get a nice random reading as is traditional. And as you can see, it's one of my traditional relationship reading spreads. Cards on your side, cards on his side, the forces between you, which is looking very good already, okay? And then progression, short term, mid term and long term. And I think, we've got some interesting signs there already. I think we can tell that. If you're a connoisseur of my readings, you'll probably get a bit of a feeling for what these symbols already mean, but never mind. Let's get straight on with the main body of the reading and start with your side of things. I feel this is pretty descriptive of what's going on there and essentially where you're coming from. Very strong nurturing energies is what the Empress is suggesting. Obviously the signs there are reversed, but it's coupled with signs of passion. Fire signs often mean passion, drive, determination. And it's also a protective message because essentially the Knight of Wands, it's your traditional knight in armour. Okay, yes, it is a black man on a black horse, but it's also symbolising some variety of heroic desire to overcome obstacles and to try and get a feeling of progress. So already, your intentions there are very good, very driven in the right direction. Maybe you could be a bit more contemplative, maybe you could try and understand a few of the situations you're going through in greater detail, maybe. But apart from that, we can definitely say that there's something very good happening there in terms of your attitude and your state of mind towards the relationship itself. Progression onto his side of the reading, very interesting. Obviously got a different blend there from the nurturing energy there to the kind of teamwork orientation there. I don't know what he does. Maybe he does something creative or something teamwork orientated, but there is a sense of trying to achieve something. Both signs are reversed, symbolising and suggesting in this particular case still a bit of a struggle. So he's got all the right personality characteristics in place in the here and now. It's just he finds it rather difficult to try and get them out into action in the future, okay? And what have we got between you? Very strong cup signs. It's a court card, therefore it's a strong, powerful significator, okay? And in this particular case, it's from the male side predominantly, so he's actually giving you probably a lot more love than you feel he's giving you, okay? So just think more carefully about his action, because I feel he's trying to communicate his love to you by action rather than by words. And I feel what you want him to provide you with is proof of concept, so to speak, in terms of the words that he uses. So maybe you need to progress beyond that and start thinking more about what he's actually trying to show you in his day-to-day life, okay? Excellent signs long term. The Ace of Cups is always a beautiful romantic sign, okay? A few minor issues before then though, haven't we, okay? Because we got the sense there of a desire for more knowledge and more understanding, as if there's something more or less missing, not quite in place, not quite right at the moment, at this present point in time, and that's during the next 3 months' time. But essentially there's a feeling of action happening which is going to overcome any sense of like unhappiness or inadequacy or fear that you may have, because your long-term future signs are looking very good indeed. In the mid-term future, I can't guarantee it's going to be total plain sailing, okay? All the best relationships in the world have some minor issues, and there's a sense of there being some disagreement there. The Queen of Swords is often symbolic of a moment of irritation or a moment of frustration that you might have with him. Try and get through to the other side and see temporary situations as temporary situations, okay? And just try and see the long-term future point of view as being the most important thing, alright? So the progression here is actually quite good. You've got a good foundation in place at the moment. Maybe some perceptual changes need to happen in order for you to be totally happy. And realise he's trying to show you the love rather than trying to tell you the love. And I think that's an important thing for you to remember, alright? But it's such a good, strong connection there, because you're keeping all your loving energy, despite the fact there may be a few very minor, and I mean very minor, hiccups on the way, okay? So, all in all, quite a good reading, but maybe there's some communication issues happening here, and there's lack of understanding happening here, okay, within your short and mid-term future, which is causing this sort of like explosion about 2 to 4 months down the line from now. But you're getting over it, and that's the most important thing, I feel. Alright, so, what have we got there? We've got a very good sense of a relationship, I feel. I mean, your question was, how's it going to go? It's going to go very well. We all have moments in life when things don't go according to plan, when we don't understand what the other person's trying to communicate to us. And those are things that we've got to work with in ourselves. So if that requires a bit of self-development, maybe even a bit of reading books on spiritual healing, on counselling and self-development and overcoming obstacles, maybe that'll help you. Or maybe just thinking about more about how you communicate and trying to find other ways to offshore some of the irritation you might feel occasionally. I think that could be very useful for you. One of the reasons that people like me exist, tarot readers exist, is so that men and women can give me a quick call and then just put things in perspective, or just offload some rubbish that may be percolating around in the heart, in the mind, and maybe getting in the way of the ability to make the relationship work. So there's always lots of different ways that modern society in the here and now has provided you with, so that you can just calm down and get that perspective that you need. Generally speaking, I would say this is a good reading and your relationship is looking very sound. There is great progress in longer term future. You're still finding out more about each other, but I think that's to be accepted and to be expected. So for the moment, I just bid you good fortune, God and or Goddess, and on none of the above bless, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon sometime. Bye for now.